NPL Victoria. Tonight we're at CB Smith Reserve as the Rams of Pascoe Vale get ready to take on the Sharks from Port Melbourne. Pascoe Vale got its first win of the season as Davey Van Schip, well-taken goal was enough for them to defeat Dandenong City last Friday. Davey Van Schip has again been the star of the side, scoring all 4 of Pascoe Vale's goals this season. For Port Melbourne, just the 1 point so far this season. That came back in round 1 against Kingston City. They had plenty of opportunities that day, but that game ended 0-0. They really took it up to Avondale in round 2, but a controversial late penalty saw the Avengers take all 3 points. Last week, they had the big derby against South Melbourne, which was 1-1 until the 85th minute, where South defender Luke Adams scored an excellent, well-taken goal to snatch the points away from the Sharks. So it shapes up to be a big game between Pascoe Vale and Port Melbourne, 2 sides that made the finals last year. And both sides are just going through their final warm-ups. As you can see, it is Pascoe Vale in the navy blue, and it is the Port Melbourne Sharks in all white. My name is Chris Gleeson, and it's my pleasure to bring into the call the Daily Football's own and a big fan favourite of the Ladies League, Joey Lynch. Welcome, Joey.
Thank you for having me. My first NPL Victoria game of the season on commentary. Very much looking forward to it. Looking forward to what probably looms as a very big game for Port Melbourne, because as the old cliche goes, you can't win the league in the first month of the season, but you might be able to lose it. So you don't want to have too few points heading into the second month of the season. So very important for the Sharks to at least take something from this game. Of course, they'd love the win, but even a point at this stage not too bad. And Pascoe Vale will see if they can keep up the momentum going after beating Dandenong. Maybe somebody other than Davey can get on the score sheet.
That's it. Davey's been the lone hand, while me and myself and Demir Kulash do believe that one of the goals against the Bentley Greens was an own goal, as Ryan Scott pretty much punched it into his own net. As the ball's brought forward in the midfield. Now Yuta Konagay can turn and play the ball out wide, firing it in. And it's going to be an early corner to Port Melbourne. We will go through the team sheets very quickly for you guys, but we'll stay on the play for this corner. It's going to be Daniel Clark to come over and take this.
Big pack forming on the penalty spot.
Early chance for the Sharks. Back post ball, and it evades everybody and goes out for a goal kick. So we can quickly go through the team lineups. We'll start off with the home side in Pascoe Vale. We've got Nick Feely in goal as he goes and fetches the ball from the corner. Johnny Vicurtis, Matt Hennessy, Adrian Tallarico and Matteo Balan, as well as Michael Ferrante, Stephen Hatsikotsis, Joey Youssef, Dimitri Hatzimaratis, Philippe Bernabeu Madrid and Davey Van Schip. On the bench is Luke Gavalas, Josh Calabria, Mohamed Rahimi, Luca Santilli and Jip Bartels. As Kearney plays it across to Eager. Konagaya drops steep and the ball goes out. You can already see Pascoe Vale pressing right up against Port Melbourne, something they haven't done that well so far this year.
No, well, very energetic start from both sides. It's played at a cracking pace just before us. Nice bit of skill from Davey as he looked to get something going, but remarkable just how quickly they're going in these early stages as the ball is headed back and Pascoe Vale can reset.
They do reset through Matteo Balan, who started in the heart of defence last season with a few injury problems. He's normally a central midfielder. Started that way this year, but for this game has dropped back to centre back. There's Vicurtis. Plays it into Davey. Davey Van Schip got the nutmeg, but couldn't retain the ball.
Paying a lot of attention to Davey early on. 2 men on him at all times.
As the Sharks are well aware of his threat. As is every team in this NPL, Davey Van Schip's been a long-time star in his times early with Richmond, taking them to VPL Grand Finals in days gone past. Ball in the midfield. Good battle and good challenges, as it's going to be Mulcahy Switches play out wide. Now they can drive forward. Conagaya switches it to Clark. There's Stella to Conagaya, looking for Ford. Looking for an angle to shoot. It's deflected, takes the sting out of it, and Feely collects.
No, a very positive start from the Sharks. They've had a number of attacks already out of corner as well, so promising signs that maybe tonight is the night for that first 3 points of the season. Of course, commentators curse it all. If Pascoe march up the other end and get one, it's probably my fault. Sorry.
Well, here we go. Pascoe to score a goal. No, they won't. As the ball finds its way to Karoma. Karoma plays it forward. And here is Stella. Stella
on the left. Doesn't use it.
Looking for KO to Goodoi. Sliding challenge. Pascoe want to take it quick. Ball's been waved on. And it's going to be Curtis who's fouled out wide. So plenty of challenges flying in early. All over the top, Davey Van Schip, Kearney. Goes back to Symes and Symes clears. And Curtis back to Feely.
And we see Port Melbourne immediately get up and press and leave Davey on his own, ambling back. Well offside for now.
As we are live and interactive, so you can always message through to us. As the first comment is from Xander Guy, Khan Pascoe. As now it's back to Feely. And now Matteo Balan likes to create. As now the Sharks try to press up. Hatzi Moratis with a great turn. Needs support. Nice one too with Yusuf. And for Curtis into the channel. Kearney comes across. Experienced defender. Now they can play it out from the back. Here's Mulcahy. Switches it out to Karoma.
Definitely looking to work that right flank early, Port Melbourne. So showing a willingness to play the ball out from the back in these early stages, which is promising as they work the ball over to the right once again.
Great cross there from Stella. Looking for the youngster Finn Beakhurst, who's impressed for Port Melbourne. Young Queenslander who comes from I believe the Brisbane Raw system. So
another Queenslander making the trip down to Victoria.
Well, Adam Pittock has loaded his side up with Queenslanders, obviously come from that area himself. And even long-time Melburnian players like Daniel Clark have moved to the Sharks. As another Queenslander, Beakhurst, and the ball goes out for a throw.
There is another NPL Victoria game happening as we speak in the 42nd minute. Melbourne Knights 0, Bentley Greens 0.
We will keep you across that game. As there's two different kickoffs on Friday night as round 4 rolls on in the NPL Victoria.
Well, that night's game, Bentley Greens game, is 0-0 according to my Football 24 app. So if it's not the case, apologies.
Oh, we do know the dodgy betting guys are pretty quick to get the score in. Ball forward. Here's Philippe Bernabeu Madrid. Goes over in the box.
Never a penalty.
Ball played out wide for Curtis v. Stella. Stella's done well to play it back to Kearney. The Sharks look to switch it. Beakhurst won't get that one. Tellerico will cut it off. Long-time Pascoe Vale player. He's like the Lee Broxton of Pascoe Vale is Tellerico. Can play in midfield out wide. Played attacking midfield in front of the game last year as too, did Adrian Tellerico.
Can he play in goal?
Well, we'd wait to see. I'm sure he'll put his hand up if they get the situation where a goalkeeper gets injured and then the replacement goalkeeper gets sent off. I'm sure Tallarico will put his hand up. Ko De Godoy throws the ball in. Forward turns Hennessy. Lays it off. Looking for Clark, got cut out. And now Ferrante switches it. Philippe Bernabeu Madrid versus Caroma. Good battle from the two. Caroma wins out.
Very well defended.
It's really a
counter-attack.
For Beakhurst. It's well cut out as I get a touch of the fourth official's ball that got played to me.
Techers, mate.
Just laid it off to him first time. But by Mackay in midfield. Trying to turn there with Stella, and it's out for a Pascoe throw. So we've got a couple of shark emojis. This ball's back with Nick Feely. Just has to clear. You can see the wind hold the ball up a little bit. It is favouring the left of your Facebook screen. Now it's Ferrante to drive it forward through the middle. Davey Van Schip will get there. Here's a great chance for Pascoe. Vale cuts it back. And De Godoy does well to clear it over the bar.
Maybe that's probably the most promising attack we've seen early. And also probably no surprise that it came through Davey Van Schip. Finally breaks free of the attention from Port Melbourne. But of course the Sharks do very well to get back and put it out for what will be Pascoe Vale's first corner of the game.
It's going to be Stephen Hatzikotsis. To come over and take this for Pascoe Vale. You see Port Melbourne playing a zonal defence. We'll wait to see if it's effective. Davey trying to flick it on. And they're going to get another corner. As you see, there's a good congregation of the Pascoe Vale juniors behind that goal.
Doing their best to put Symes off as the ball comes in.
Symes couldn't get it completely clear. Ford isn't fouled, and it's going to go out for a Pascoe Vale throw. Glaring look from Sam Ford at the referee on that non-decision.
And we have Sharks manager Piddock here on the sideline, remonstrating with the fourth official as well. Wasn't pleased with the decision toward that second corner to the Rams.
And we can quickly go through the Port Melbourne lineup. It is Matthew Symes in goal, Amadou Caroma, Alan Kearney, Michael Eager, and Ko De Godoy. Is the back four. In midfield is Alan Mulcahy and Daniel Clark, with Finn Beakhurst and Francesco Stella on the wings, with Yuta Konagaya playing the number 10 role and Sam Ford up top. On the bench is Nick Ayres, Maker, Kamal Ibrahim, Michael Lee and Valley Sesnick. So Pascoe Vale are unchanged in their starting lineup for this game. The Sharks did make a couple of changes with Ko De Godoy and Francesco Stella into the starting lineup for Michael Lee and Valley Sesnick. As they look to get their first win of the season, it's been a willing contest so far. You can see that there's semi-professional footballers working all week, trying to take their frustration out with a couple of little naughty challenges early.
Yeah, a bit of niggle early, but the game's been played at an excellent pace, which is great to see. Both sides willing to play football, which is always nice to see. As Pascoe Vale breakthrough again down on the right.
Kearney clears it. Stella. De Godoy. And now Stella. Switching play now, Caroma. They've done well to get out of defence and can start the attack. Caroma plays it through. Here's Beakhurst, and Beakhurst across the box, and it is the biggest miss of the year so far to the Englishman Sam Ford.
How exactly do you miss that from the former West Ham junior who has had an open goal and with his left foot can only spray it wide. From our low position, it did look like an easy goal. Maybe our Facebook viewers, with the benefit of a higher angle, maybe saw it as slightly more difficult, but one must say that from where we're standing, Port Melbourne should be 1-0 up.
Beakhurst did well to cut it across, and Sam Ford from that position sliding in. I think it's actually harder to get it over the bar than actually hit the target. Can Pascoe Vale make them pay?
As a number 9, you have to be scoring goals like that.
Well, they've had their shooting woes so far this year of the Sharks. Clark. Hennessy cuts it out well. Great bit of skill by the veteran Ferrante. Now Feely with his left. Plays it out wide. Caroma did well to shield Bernabeu Madrid. Can always let us know in the comments what you thought of Sam Ford's attempt on goal.
Thank you for Taylor Foster for the comment on Facebook. He's loving the commentary tonight.
Well, it's always good to get positive comments early. Even if sometimes they're not warranted, if they're positive, I'm happy.
I'll accept all forms of feedback, as long as it's positive. Once again, the Sharks looks to build up from the back. Good tackle.
Youngster Vicurtis. Over the top. It'll be a hard one for Davey to get to. Kearney plays it. Caroma. Now Mulcahy. Both sides are being quite happy to play up from the back, even under pressure at times. Now Eager. Straight ball. In for Ford. Hennessy clears it up and the flag is up on the far side. Either offside or handball. The first 15 minutes have flown by here at CB Smith.
Oh, and it is half-time in the Melbourne Knights Bentley Greens, and we have a goal. On his Football 24, doesn't tell me who scored it, but 42nd minute goal to the Knights.
So Melbourne Knights.
They're normally pretty good on the socials. I'll jump on Twitter and see who got it for.
We've got Joey Lynch right next to me, but he's going around the grounds. It's actually good to see only 2 fixtures tonight. I believe the fixture list is really clogged up, especially normally on Friday nights. Davey trying to play it forward. He's going to win a corner.
It looks like it was Hamish Watson with the goal, set up by Dazelle.
So Watson again continues his strong start to the season. That's his 4th goal. Scored a double against Oakley back in round 1.
Yeah,
and got a goal against Altona Magic in round 2. So 2 games at Summer Street, 2 goals for him. And the real Flyers this season find themselves behind the Bentley Greens.
Yes. Well, they've looked fantastic in the opening weeks of the season. Look like they've made a proper find in Valentino UL as we pause as Paco swing the corner in.
Well, it was Yusuf who tried to flick it on, and it's side netting from Hennessy.
Had time there, just unfortunately he didn't have a left foot to go with that time. Tried to sneak it in with the outside of his right. Couldn't get the angle going for him.
He has got a corner though. It's taken a deflection on its way through. Let's see if Hatzimaradis can deliver another excellent ball into the box.
He's been good early, Hatzimaradis, hasn't he?
It's again. Fired it in. Yusuf tried to flick it. Hennessy back post again. It was a difficult one to direct on goal. The Sharks are defending at 6s and 7s at the moment.
Yet another corner, and that's now 2 corners in a row where it's just fallen freely to a man at the back post. So need to get their act together with maybe this zonal marking, maybe get somebody in that back post zone.
Well, we've seen Hennessy start at the near post and wheel to the back post the last 2 corners. This time he's going to save the trouble and just start at the back post.
A lot of space in there to work with.
Yusuf has been the target the last couple of corners. Another excellent delivery. Hennessy near post run. Flicked it on. Bernabeu Madrid, and they get it back into the box. Van Schip, back post. Yusuf back across goal. And it's going to deflect calmly out for a goal kick. Yeah, in fact, it's going to be a corner.
Another corner. Well, looks pretty decent coming off his head as well. So well defended by the Sharks to get there. Some bodies between the ball and the goal. But sustained period of pressure here from the Sharks. And you'd have to think that if they did concede, what they might be thinking what could have been it had they had that ball in the back of the net only minutes ago.
Well, I got a laugh at Vitali Ferrante just shouting, Matty and Matty Hennessy, you could have had a hat-trick in a minute. So, great chances from Hennessy. Can he have a fourth attempt? As the Sharks have to defend another corner, Kearney does. Still alive. And now Hennessy keeps it alive. And now the Sharks should be able to clear. As
oh, he's put that out.
Stella's run it out. Great work from Pascoe Vale, but the Sharks hold on.
Yeah, sustained period of pressure here from the Rams. How long can the dam hold?
It's young for Curtis.
Oh,
throws it
fell
in.
asleep there, the Sharks with their marking. Didn't affect them though.
Now it's Matteo Balan, the switch play. Ball one back. Now Conagaya can drive it forward. Pass misdirected, Matteo Balan. Now Yusuf over the top. Here's a chance for Van Schip. Eager. Well positioned as always. But he has to give up another corner. One of the advantages of being so close to the coaches, we can relay their messages.
Yeah. Well, you've got to feel as though if there's something in the air, you feel as though maybe that first goal probably isn't too far away. The open chance to the Sharks that went begging, this period of sustained pressure by Pascoe. Something in the air perhaps with the ball that gets swung in.
This time Yusuf again. He's had 4 or 5 chances, pretty much in the same action as Hennessy. He's just glanced his header on every single one. And now Symes. Well, Symes wanted to take his time, but the referee has hurried him up already. That's Perry Muir in the middle. Senyinka Kerndale and Andrew Stevenson, the assistant referees, with Joshua Drakeford, who's come all the way from just outside Ballarat to be here tonight on NPL Victoria.
Remarking about how warmer the Melbourne weather was than he was expecting. So how warm the Melbourne weather was.
When you come from Ballarat, this must feel like Hawaii. As it's Kearney. Fires it in midfield. Now Ford. Conagaya. He's got Beakhurst. Good spring as he cuts inside. Gives the ball up. Now Davey.
He's immediately swarmed by 3 defenders once again.
It's done a great job with that, the Sharks, so far. The Curtis held back.
That shirt pulling there, yep.
And it's going to be an early yellow card. So Stella eventually
gets booked when he turns around.
As Perry waited for eye contact to make sure he saw that he's got the yellow ticket. He's the first man in the book. Great interception by Vicurtis, who's reading the play pretty well. Now it's Hennessy.
All the time in the world to set something up, but he goes back to the goalkeeper.
Now Matteo Balan. The Italian. Over the top. Karoma flicks it away. Now it's Yusuf.
They've got the Curtis on here down the right if they can get it to him quick enough.
Ferrante finds him. Curtis breaks the ankles of Stella, drives on. He is deflected. Davey tried to control it, but almost directed it goalward. It really was a full-back sort of shot.
Yeah, it was heading well off target before Davey got in the way, so whether he meant to turn it towards a goal is another question entirely. Davey would tell you that he was.
Well,
as all good number 9s would.
He's in that sort of form that
even his errors can turn into goals.
So now Kearney again chips it over the top. That's straight at Feely.
Maybe you're seeing the signs of maybe some frustrations from the Sharks. Maybe a few more long balls now as they struggle to break down Pascoe. As Pascoe respond with a long ball of their own down the right.
As Ko De Goodoi. I think we're going to call him Patch in the pre-game.
Goodoi, the good boy.
Yeah, Patch the Goodoi. Ball forward. Curtis.
Every player needs a good nickname.
I think Ford should change his name to Volvo after that last effort. Ball out wide. Solid challenge from Stella on Bernabeu Madrid.
And you can really see now that Pascoe are beginning to seize control of this game. Port Melbourne had some good chances early. Of course, Ford probably should have had them ahead, but now really they're on the back foot as sustained period of control from Pascoe as they look to reset and switch the play to the right. They're not going to be hurried. Long ball down the left. But Port Melbourne look like they've been able to clear.
Beakhurst.
Chance maybe to counter.
Now they switch the ball. Here's Daniel Clark. He's got some grass in front of him to attack. Out to Stella. Now the left foot of Clark. De Goodoi. And De Goodoi again. Done well to find Eager in midfield. They persist down this left-hand side. De Goodoi crosses it in. Too close to Feely, who collects. So good little possession there by Port Melbourne, holding on to it. And
just going to hopefully turn that into a bit of a change in momentum, perhaps.
Davey Van Schip couldn't reel that in. And De Goodoi again, switching ball.
Once again, looking to play the ball down the right. No luck though. Pascoe have been aware of it really. They've zeroed in on it ever since the opening exchanges. Port Melbourne still, for now, going to the well though.
So with 26 minutes played in this game so far, Pascoe Vale with plenty of opportunities from plenty of corners. Smith with the early chance which he skied. Now they play out from the back. Here's Daniel Clark again.
Pascoe giving him lots of time. What can he do with it?
It's allowed the drive into midfield. Now Clark turns. Udakonagao, who they've struggled to get on the ball early in this game. A heavy touch. Ferrante did well to win the ball and he's held back.
Bit cheeky there, kicking the ball out of play when the referee wasn't looking. Bit cheeky from Clark, but it looks like he's gotten away with it.
Perry Mura in the middle did have his hands out saying, "What are you doing?" It's a cheeky smile on his face. Yusuf Can't control it. Plenty of challenges in from the Sharks. They get the ball back.
Just switch it down the left now. Can they move this quickly?
Digurui cuts inside. Tries to get a shot away. Hennessy with the block.
Just unfortunate there. It looked like he had Stella free down the left, but backed himself and ran into a brick wall.
Now Beakhurst drives forward. Edge of the box. Digurui trying to lay it off. Yusuf back to help out his defence. Could have been fouled there in the box. Clark takes it away. Fires it really deep across goal.
Well, Melbourne do well to retain possession.
Mulcahy back post. Digurui's offside. Referee smartly lets the game play. Now it's Davey Van Schip if he can keep it in. Which he can. Can he turn Kearney? Trying to get on the inside. Kearney makes the challenge.
Very well defended there from Kearney. Would have been very easy to foul Davey as well, but he's done well to tackle him fairly and win the ball back. But now Pascoe once again move forward.
So drive forward. Switching play. Curtis. Now Ferrante in midfield. Clips it out wide. Hatzikordis trying to get a shooting angle. Tries to curl it. Hits the crossbar. And it's going to be a goal kick. Symes may have got a hand to that, but what a great effort by Stephen Hatzikordis, who we know from range is quite talented.
No, fantastic effort there, cutting in on his right foot and opening up the angle to goal and launching a ball that was dipping, and given that it's a goal kick, it appears that Symes didn't get a hand on it, but just couldn't scrape it in under the crossbar. But danger signs there for the Sharks that maybe the Rams are beginning to zero in on goal.
It's a great effort. It's one of the rare chances in this game. Player out wide has been able to be isolated one-on-one. Curtis. And now Clark. Sliding challenge from Hennessy. Stays in play. As the old stages, Kearney, Mulcahy, and now Eager. It's a very experienced lineup. Ford is offside. And the referee hasn't seen it until Pascoe Vale get the ball back.
Bit of rancor there amongst some of the Pascoe players wanting advantage, but they'll now reset.
Come on, keep going, come on, keep going.
And look to build up from the back once again.
Now Ferrante. Speaking of West Ham, he also come through that youth academy.
And you could just hear, we could hear Piddock on the sideline here for Port Melbourne just saying that was too easy. There was too much space for the Pascoe in the middle there, but they've turned the ball over and now they're, I was about to say Port Melbourne could counter, but sloppy turnover. But they've once again got the ball back.
So now it's still Clark. Switching play. Beakhurst is going to get there. In fact, it's Stella. The two have switched wings.
Well, Port Melbourne finally get the ball there to the right winger, but they immediately lose it when he gets it. So still going to the well on that. Hasn't worked so far. Be interested to see whether, as we approach the final 15 minutes of the first half, well, we're in it now, whether they maintain it. Maybe a tactical adjustment at half-time if it doesn't bear fruit in that period.
Well, they've got some real talent on the bench in Kamal Ibrahim and Vale Sesnik.
Ibrahim especially, one that I imagine could find his way, could probably start in a few teams in NPL Victoria.
He did start the first two games, but has had to settle for a bench position the last two. There's Kamal Ibrahim, former gold medal winner too. It's now Kearney. Good to see him back in a Sharks jumper after spending a bit of time with Dandenong City. Now Eager. Ford. Balan slides in. Ford picks it up and turns around. Hatzikordis has done well. Another solid challenge in midfield. DeGoody wins out this time, and now Clark finds that little bit of space and drives at the Pascoe defence. Into the channel, Ford, forced wide, and Feely eventually collects.
Good goalkeeping to keep it in play and maintain possession rather than put it out for a corner. There's a bit of space here on the left has opened up for Pascoe Vale if they can exploit it.
It's now Matteo Balan. Shares it with his centre-back partner in Hennessy. As we see Adam Pittock shouting at his teammate to press higher, not allow him to play out from the back. Hennessy goes over the top. There's eager Conagaya. So it's easy to get distracted by listening into what the coaches say. We are right under the scaffolding here at halfway. So we hear everything Adam Pittock and Vitaly Ferrante say. That's probably the reason why the effects mic isn't in use today.
Apologies to kids in cars if some of the stuff is coming through.
Poor ball at the back. Timmy Hatzimaradis, Ferrante. Looking for Bernabeu Madrid. The spin of the ball and a bit of the wind took it away from him.
Yeah, probably should have done a little bit better then as Port Melbourne get the chance to build up.
Kearney long. Hennessy out wide. And the Sharks get the throw. Just a high intensity start, but just sort of petered off a little bit the last 5 or so minutes.
We're seeing a few more long balls now from the back line as both sides perhaps in the fatigue not as willing to build from the back as once again Port Melbourne go down the right.
Now Francesco Stalla with Karoma. Fires it in. It's out for a goal kick. Just couldn't wrap his foot around that one.
Well, there you go. They finally get the ball to the byline down the right, but nothing from it. As we have just ticked over to the final 10 minutes of the first half, barring any injury time that will be played. But you wouldn't anticipate a lot. There hasn't really been many stoppages so far.
The main stoppages we're seeing is the goalkeepers fetching the ball near the corner flags for their goal kicks. Ball out for a throw. It's eager. Wasn't too eager to bring the ball forward and plays it back to his keeper. As here's Daniel Clark. Both sides are quite happy to be patient, building from the back. Conagaya misses Clark. The Curtis. See, Yuta Conagaya is such a star for Port Melbourne last season.
He had a few decent touches early, but he's really just hasn't been able to go on with it. Looking a bit out of sorts so far.
His confidence is a little bit low. He's created some excellent opportunities for himself in previous games this year and just hasn't been able to finish off some good work. Just feel if he just gets an assist or sets something up, things will happen now. Philippe Bernabeu Madrid drives it forward. Here's a chance for Davey. 2 defenders near him, doesn't bother him, goes for the shot. Karoma blocks it and clears.
And as we can see, Davey started in the middle, but he's shifted out to the left now as Bernabeu Madrid's gone into the centre.
The front three do rotate quite heavily. For Curtis, first time ball.
Oh, he's done very well.
The galloping Yusuf. Joey Yusuf, the captain.
Oh.
And now, here's Hatzimaradis. And now the Curtis. Trying to cross it in, it's deflected.
Will they get another corner here? No, Port Melbourne have kept it in.
Keo Tagurue saves the corner but turns it over. Ferrante. Still stay on the attack. Hatzimaradis looking for Yusuf. And now Ferrante with the left foot. Fires it over the top. Looks like it's taken a deflection.
Yeah, another corner to Pascoe Vale. Probably Well, it didn't really look like it was going to stay on target when it came off his boot, but nonetheless, the deflection means that Pascoe Vale have another corner here in the 39th, as we've just ticked over to the 39th minute. Maybe a bit of late action for Pascoe Vale. You would say they've had the better of the game in this first half?
I definitely would have to say that. Hatzikortis, who's come closest off the crossbar, and if anything's to go by, this is going to be aimed for Yusuf, and Hennessy will get there somehow. Crossing in.
Well defended that time by Port Melbourne.
And Stella gets it clear.
It's been an interesting first half in that Pascoe Vale have probably had the best of play, but one might say that Port Melbourne should be 1-0 up if Ford had his shooting boots on, but really not too many clear-cut chances to the hosts, aside from that ball off the crossbar.
Hatzikortis to Hatzi Maratis as the Hatzi boys go to work. Hatzi Maratis slips over. Ford back helping out his defence, gets it out. Hatzi Maratis. Curtis.
Areas in there.
Doing well to retain the ball, but just haven't been able to create anything with this opportunity. Now Ferrante. Ball cut out. Eager reads it well. Can he start a counter-attack for Port Melbourne? As the experienced...
Down the left, he's found him.
Now he's Beakhurst. Looking to drive at the defence. Finds a shooting room and just dragged it straight at the keeper.
Yeah, just... Obviously didn't see anything he liked from his teammates, backed himself, but probably not the best option in the end, or well, not the best shot.
Just see while it's still 0-0, both sides are quite happy just to be that little bit extra cautious. We haven't. Now the ball over the top. Hatzi Maratis.
In here.
It's got a bit of space. Yusuf. Karoma, another corner.
It was a decent ball there from Yusuf. Unfortunately, no one there for Meter, but another corner to Pascoe Vale now. Late enough. And what can we see from this one?
So Hatzikortis over again. His deliveries have been so good tonight.
I must say, a bit cheeky from Hatzikortis. 77. What's he playing at? I doubt Pascoe Vale had 76 other players take jerseys before him. Bit cheeky.
There is a player in the 90s. We'll let the people on the Facebook streams guess which player is in the 90s this year. Near post. Connor Garraway. Ferrante. I'll let the people in the comments figure out who the guy in the 90 is, because off the top of my head I have forgotten. So hopefully somebody can remind me.
Well, we got there's a few high numbers going around. Of course, Neil Kilkenny in the A-League's wearing 88, isn't he? I think we had Teresa Nielsen in the W League wearing 88 as well.
That's back to Symes. Traditional keeper number 1. Ball in midfield, Clark. And it's Milos Luic, is number 99, and our champion cameraman who's listening in has let us know that. So Luic has gone the double 9 this year.
Yeah, 99, bit of look at me there from...
Well, Milos hasn't scored this year so far, so maybe he's probably best going back to the number 9.
Maybe he shouldn't be allowed to wear any sort of number 9 unless he scores a goal.
I think the number 9 would have to be taken off Sam Ford after the earlier effort.
That, absolutely.
We'll maybe swap Ford to 99. And here is Pascoe Vale's number 9, Hatzi Maratis. Ferrante.
Forward looking, bit of energy there from Ford, defending from the front, forced his man into an error. But now we see Pascoe Vale really press and look to keep the ball in the Sharks' half. This forward can't hold the ball up.
Over the top. Bernabeu Madrid. Kearney hooks it away. For Curtis. Now for a throw.
Piddick keen to see his team moving on quickly as he controls the ball. There's Teckers from the Port Melbourne coach as well.
The Curtis first forward. As the Curtis can't keep it in, but he's done his work well so far as a young fullback. One of the real rising stars at Pascoe Vale.
He's been one of the best players on the park tonight as well. He's been very keen to get forward. As a bit of a sloppy challenge there.
Well, the Curtis was part of that. Joey's.
Oh, hello, son. Handbags at 20 paces.
As Perry's going to have to try to settle this down.
Bit of frustration seeping in. Seemed to have somewhat, well, it was a bad challenge, but not that bad.
Well, Perry Murrell's going to settle things down. Clark is going to have to get the yellow card.
So who's he booked there? Clark? Yeah. The only one booked?
So we wait to see if anyone else is going to get booked.
Perry, you started it because you didn't deal with it.
Port Melbourne coach Piddick not happy with the booking.
Well, I know he was incensed after that Avondale game where Avondale got the penalty late in that game that seemed to be a clear challenge. Well, it didn't seem to be. It was a clear challenge by Karoma.
Despite the booking, it appears that Port Melbourne will still have the free kick as Davey subtly kicks it away.
Well, when that little scuffle was going on, Curtis picked up the ball and threw it away while the referee was focusing on the scuffle.
Very much of the mind that the dark arts should be encouraged at all costs, as where the first 45 ends and only 1 minute at a time.
Well, it wasn't far away from Eager. Ball ends up going out for a goal kick.
Could have been something there. So often you'll see those balls just snake through to the far post in close range and get tapped in. Unfortunately for Port Melbourne, couldn't get anything going there. As you imagine, with just 1 minute of added time, Pascoe might try to just knock the ball around and kill the game here. Although it looks like they're going to bomb it long.
As Feely plays it long. Mulcahy gets it clear. As the referee looks at the watch, and it is half-time here at CB Smith Reserve. The first half that saw Sam Smith with a great opportunity early, and Pascoe Vale really pepper the goalkeeper with corners and half attempts. Yeah. And then it was Hatzikortis with a shot off the crossbar who come closest in this game. It's been a willing contest between Pascoe Vale and Port Melbourne. What have you thought of the first half, Joey?
Well, it was a decent start for Port Melbourne, I must say. A couple of early chances, but the hosts seemed to maybe settle after the first 5 to 10 minutes and had the best of it. That sustained period of pressure where they won a number of corners in a row. Maybe perhaps could feel unlucky that ball just from Hatzi just didn't dip down and hit the crossbar, but like I said, it's a very weird situation. You would not be surprised to see Port Melbourne 1-0 up if Ford had his shooting boots on, but at the same time, on the balance of play, you would not be surprised to see Pascoe 1 up. So all to play for in the second half, and hopefully we can see at least one goal in that second stanza.
Well, we've got about 10 more minutes until the second half starts, so you can always flip over to watch the Melbourne Knights versus Bentley Greens. Melbourne Knights still leading 1-0 in the 65th minute. The reason I'm telling you this is because I know in 10 minutes you'll be back to join us for the second half. Myself, Chris Gleeson and Joey Lynch. So we're just going to have a short break. We'll be back shortly. And we're back here for the second half at CB Smith Reserve between Port Melbourne and Pascoe Vale. It is Port Melbourne in white, Pascoe Vale in the navy blue.
As the heavens have opened up very slightly for the beginning of the second half.
So I've just rushed and got my expensive electrical equipment out of the way. And tucked it all under the scaffolding. So see how we go the second half. And it's Hennessy back to his goalkeeper. Now the big switching ball. Tallarico leaves it. Great skill from Van Schip. Feely with the left. Can't keep it in play. So just on the first half, Pascoe Vale probably had the better of the first half. Plenty of opportunities from corners. Hatzikostas from long range hit the crossbar. But it was a positive start from Port Melbourne. Finn Beakhurst did well down the right and cut the ball back. And Sam Ford unfortunately skied it over the top from pretty close range.
One might say probably in a situation where it was harder to miss than it was to score, but
it's been a solid battle between the two sides. Pretty cautious first half.
Both sides did try to play football in the opening stages. We saw a few more long balls as it went on, maybe as fatigue set in. We'll now see, with maybe some rain coming down, whether the slick surface means that we see a few more long balls in the second, but hopefully the thing we see the most is goals.
Yeah, hopefully we can get a few in the second half. Yeah. Speaking of goals there, in our halftime break there was a goal over at Summer Street where Hamish Watson's got his second double of the season with a great finish. And Melbourne Knights are 2-0 up against the Bentley Greens at home.
Looks like a bit of an upset brewing at Summer Street.
So one of my tips, personally I think Melbourne Knights have probably got the third or fourth best squad in the league.
Yeah, I think they've got decent finals chance as well.
We talk of Valentino Yule and Josh Baresi for Bentley Greens, who've been great signings. Hamish Watson, what an excellent start so far for him. 5 goals already in the league, just in the 4th round. He's looking for the hat-trick as we speak. So it's great work from the Melbourne Knights getting the Kiwi over.
And that's a few Kiwis there at Summer Street, haven't they?
It's had a decent breeding ground. We look at Fenton last season, who had a serious injury back in round 1, was a Kiwi signing for the Knights. There's Davey Van Schip. Now Tallarico drives it forward. Shot is straight at the goalkeeper.
Well, it looked like it might have actually taken a touch there off his boot. So well done from Symes to judge the flight of that ball. As Port Melbourne look to build now, as they've got time in defence.
It's Kearney. Clark turns. And now they can break out the left wing. It's Francesco Stutter, cuts the ball in. Now the ball in looking for Connor Gayer. It's headed away. Joseph Youssef finds Van Schip.
Holding it up well.
Holds up the ball well as always. And now Joseph Youssef.
Tried the tackers, just couldn't make it work. But Davey, very physical.
As our cameraman nearly got taken out there, Nathan Sack on cameras. Had to dodge that one as it flashed past his head on the scaffolding.
There's a few words exchanged there between Davey and the Port Melbourne players. We did see a minor fracas late in the first half with one card produced, was for Clark, wasn't it? So maybe a bit of feeling creeping into the game as well. Two sides that you wouldn't normally describe as major rivals, but early season, points at a premium. As Davey again goes down under a challenge from Konagaya.
So,
as the ref tells the players to get on with it, doesn't want any back chat.
He never accepts any back chat as the experienced referee, Perry Muir. Always likes to let the game flow. Ball into midfield. Bernabeu Madrid. Ball's cut off. Now they can drive it forward. Conagaya. Heavy touch again, just eludes him. Hennessy clears. And now the Sharks. Now Stella. Caroma in space out wide. Beakhurst. Now Stella. Good build up by the Sharks. Caroma. And he's missed him.
Oh, the frustration there from the Sharks bench. You probably heard it through the microphones. They wanted that one.
And Pascoe restart it quickly. Big crossfield ball looking for Philippe Bernabeu Madrid. It will find him. And a good challenge there by Kearney. It's out for a corner.
Another corner.
So this is the 10th one in the game for Pascoe Vale. There's a good initiative too with the live streaming, the stats that pop up. Hatzikotsis.
Just ambling over leisurely. In no rush. He's put a number of dangerous set pieces in, has he? As well as hitting the bar. We'll see what he can do here. Will the ball go through to the back post again?
It's Hatzikotsis. Another good shape on it. Headed away. Now the volley from Ferrante, not far away. An excellent opportunity. Symes was grasping for air, and luckily when he turned around, when he hit the ground, the ball went wide of his goal.
You could see that. There was a large pack of players standing in front of most of the goals, so you could just see trying to squeeze the ball in that gap there. Just couldn't direct that half volley on target, but once again, Pascoe, danger signs early, winning corners, putting shots onto, not on target, but getting off shots. So we'll see if Port Melbourne can respond here as they look to build up from the back once again.
Now it's Caroma. Great ball. Here's Beakhurst. Balan did well to force him wide. Finds Yuta Konagaya. Now Beakhurst again. The young Queenslander finds Clark. It's on his left foot. Tried to strike it. Deflected wide. Hennessy. Great challenge by Clark.
An unfortunate situation there where Beakhurst had Caroma running up for the overlap there down the right, but didn't see him as he looked to cut back inside and turn over there. What might have been for Port Melbourne as they turn the ball over here. Pascoe looked to break up the right wing as the ball is played long.
Looking for Bernabeu Madrid again. He will be eager. Ball turned over. Van Schip. Luckily Kearney was there to cut it out. And now here go the Sharks. Stella and Conagaya. Hatzikotsis does well to force Port Melbourne back. And they'll restart again from defence. Switching ball. And now Caroma. And now Conagaya. And find a bit of room in midfield for Clark. Now it's out wide for Francesco Stella. It's again. Well held off. Stella from range, deflected. And now they get it back. Mulcahy can turn. The ball's going to go out for the Sharks.
Dangerous area for a throw-in. What can they do with it? Caroma will put the ball in.
Just shaping up for the long throw. Easily dealt with by Pascoe, but Caroma will get a second chance. Mulcahy to Ford. Trying to fire it back across. Bit of a pinball. And Davey Van Schip will drive it forward.
He's dropped very deep, playing on the left wing to start the game. And Bernamo Madrid playing as the 9 to open the second half. It looks like they've just switched back now. As Port Melbourne forced a turnover from Davey and look to build through the left.
Ball to midfield. Ferrante. Over the top, and it's going to be easy for Symes. Just the second half's just still getting started with both sides. As now Finn Beakhurst has made a good run. Needs support. He's got it in Stella. Stella from range. And that's well wide by Francesco Stella. Almost took out a couple of kids on the cheap seats looking over the fence at the back there.
Just an unfortunate situation there where the ball played that Stella eventually picked up was really just between two Port Melbourne players, so they couldn't keep up the momentum, and in the end just a speculative might as well sort of chance. Never really looked like trouble in the keeper.
As Feely plays a great ball. And my touch isn't as good as I thought it would be.
Yeah, diving in front of me there like a defender. It was coming directly to my left foot, wouldn't have had to move.
I went with the outside of the foot, really should have used the instep. So now the ball's back with Symes. Port Melbourne, Stella lets it run. Hennessy's the only one there though. As we get towards the end at Summer Street, 90th minute mark, still the 2 Watson goals separate the two sides. This looks likely, bar a disaster for the Knights. But they will take a second win from second home games at Summer Street, plus their away win at Oakley, the only blemish Heidelberg lost last weekend. Ball forward. Van Schip for Pascoe Vale. Youssef. Deflected out. And it's going to be a Port Melbourne throw. It's Karoma. Getting close to the hour mark. No real great chances in this second half so far. Now Van Schip. Can he create something special? Great skill from him. Gets past 3 defenders. Conagaya leans into him. And the foul's going to be given.
Second time Conagaya has brought down Van Schip this half. Looks like he'll escape any fabric from the referee's pocket once again.
So looks like another Dutchman, Jip Bartels for Pascoe Vale, is warming up. They won't make this substitution while they've got this free kick. Ferrante and Philippe Bernabo Madrid. We've seen Michael Ferrante come close just before. 3-man wall. It's Ferrante. Tries to curl it. It's just wide. Symes watched it.
He backed himself. As we'll see our first substitution of the game.
And it'll be Philippe Bernabo Madrid for Jip Bartels. He's just working his way into this Pascoe Vale lineup. He did come to Australia as a big signing for Avondale in 2017 in the mid-season transfer window. And then he's played with Preston Lions the last year, and now he's worked his way back up to the NPL.
We'll see what he can do with what will be half an hour of game. Probably a good decision to bring on a substitute at this point. Pascoe Vale, whilst controlling the game, haven't been able to create good goal scoring chances, one might say. So,
well, now it's time for Kamal Ibrahim to come on. He will be the next sub. So ball's out wide.
Looks ready for it. He's grinning, getting ready to come on.
Now it's Beakhurst. Wins the corner. So
Probably have to wait for the corner to be taken.
we also have to wait for a ball to come across as well.
Looks like Stella will be the man to make way for Ibrahim.
So a substitution will be made. Kamal Ibrahim for Francesco Stella.
Attacking changes from both sides. Good to see both sides still looking for the 3 points. Interesting that the substitution would be made before the corner is taken. Normally sides will wait until after, but Port Melbourne opting to maybe Ibrahim can sneak in and get a foot on a loose ball in the penalty area. Oh no, he's running up for the short corner.
So they switched off Pascoe. Ibrahim's ball to the back post. It's alive. Here's Eager, and Michael Eager has scored for Port Melbourne. Kamal's Ibrahim with a golden touch off the bench, and the defender Michael Eager separates the two sides, and it was Pascoe Vale with corner after corner, but it is the Sharks who break through, and the defender Michael Eager pokes home.
Well, you could just see there, Pascoe Vale switched off Ibrahim. They made the decision to bring Ibrahim before the corner. Maybe they were planning on doing that. Just Pascoe Vale switched off. Ibrahim had all the time in the world to put that ball in and pick out Eager, and lo and behold, he's beaten his man with his touch and had the time to put the ball in the bottom corner. So one must really say, against the run of play, the Sharks are ahead. And what can Pascoe Vale respond?
So Pascoe Vale going to have to come from behind. Is he going to get anything out of this game? Just the second goal of the season for Port Melbourne, and what a golden goal that could prove to be away from home. Michael Eager. It was a well-taken finish to put the ball across goal. And now it's up to Pascoe Vale really to chase this.
Really belying his status as a defender with that finish.
As the ball goes out for a goal kick. As we can just go to the full-time score. So Melbourne Knights won 2-0 against the Bentley Greens at Summer Street. What a party that'll be at the Croatia Club tonight. It's pumping at the best of times, but after a win against the top side, it's been a positive start from the Knights this season. And we do welcome the fans that have switched over from that Knights game to catch the end of this one. Michael Eager just scored for Port Melbourne, the big defender. Pascoe Vale had plenty of corners of themselves, especially in the first half, but couldn't make the most of them.
Situation where Pascoe Vale really have been on top. We had, of course, Ford for Port Melbourne. Probably should have put his side ahead in the first when he skied a chance from close range, but Port Melbourne 1-0 up, and we'll see can Pascoe Vale respond as they work the ball long towards the right, but Port Melbourne able to head the ball clear.
Ko Degure. And now it's Ferrante. Well cut out. Now it's the magic touch of Kamal Ibrahim. Not this time. Turns it over. Now Hatzimaradis.
Stand your feet. Get the game in front. Stand your feet. Game in front.
They've pressed well, Pascoe Vale. Challenged by Ibrahim. No foul given.
Well,
Numbers forward. Here's a chance for Ford. It's forced wide. Now Ford. Couldn't find an angle to get it in the box. Now clips it in. Here's Kamal Ibrahim. Trying to find a teammate. Goes to Mulcahy. Well cut out. And now Joseph Youssef looking to drive it forward. Left it behind him. Mulcahy picks it up.
Just seemed to maybe slightly shell-shocked. Yeah, apologies. Shell-shocked from that goal, Pascoe Vale. Just their touch is letting them down a bit.
And as you speak, they turn it over again. Now Eager, the goal scorer. Plays it forward. Now Davey Van Schip up the line. Well defended by Kearney. Now Tellerico to throw it back in. Hatzikotsis. It's Adam Pittix marshalling his troops from the sideline over the top. Kearney's done well out for a goal kick.
No, you'd have to think Port Melbourne would be quite happy for Pascoe to put balls in like that all day long. Going to need to do something here if they're going to get back into the game, Pascoe Vale, because really they, aside from maybe a couple of half chances, they haven't had any rolled goal, should have scored chances so far, despite controlling play. Although that's a terrible turnover from Port Melbourne deep in their defence.
Bad touch from Kearney, and he's defended really, really well tonight. But this time he's given Pascoe Vale an opportunity. Can they capitalise on it?
Yeah, stop me if you've heard this one before, but Pascoe Vale have a corner.
Well, they did concede 2 goals from corners against the Bentley Greens as well as one tonight. So if you look at that statistic, that's 3 goals against. Can they get 1 for? Near post. Conagaya clears it.
Probably it's the poorest corner they've had all game.
Still retain the ball with Matteo Balan. Plenty of numbers forward, and he fires it looking for Youssef. Flicks the header on, but can't direct it towards goal or a teammate. Symes will have another goal kick.
Hey, relax, up we get! Get out, learn from it!
Might be able to hear from the sidelines. Port Melbourne coach Pittock pleading with his players to get the ball up and and press the ball forward, but unfortunately it's just no luck so far.
In the midfield. Also got plenty of other games on tomorrow. Green Gully and Dandenong City, 3 p.m. at Green Gully Reserve. Avondale and South Melbourne at 3:15, so a couple of afternoon games. That should be a really excellent game. And South Melbourne 2 wins on the bounce. Avondale undefeated. And now it's Bartels. Great skill from Jip. Trying to cut it back. Clark mops it up and tries to start the counter-attack, but too heavy for Ford. We also look at Dandenong Thunder versus Altona Magic. And Dackland Stadium at 7 p.m. and Hume City and Heidelberg at 8 p.m. to kick it off. So, good little spread of fixtures. And obviously Kingston and Oakley Cannons on Monday night. There's a bit of a southeastern derby. As Oakley are looking to get their first win, and so are Kingston.
It's Port Melbourne preparing another substitute to come on now to defend their 1-0 lead.
It's going to be Finn Beakhurst and be another quick attacker in Valley Sesnick to come on. At the moment it's Kamal Ibrahim on the ball. Happy to try to draw Pascoe Vale in towards them. Now Kearney fires it forward. Beakhurst trying to play Conagaya through. Hennessy wins it back. Now they can drive it forward.
Well defended there. Brayton's continued. He's got the overlap on the right. Doesn't use him.
Now it's Conagaya. Ibrahim tried to clip the ball over Balan, but he was too clever for that. Up the line. Pascoe Vale will get the throw. So big weekends of NPL action still ahead of us. At the moment, the Sharks look good for their first win of the season. And now they can make that substitution now with Vale Sesnik. And it's going to be a change also for Pascoe Vale with Lucas Santilli's going to come on for Dimi Hatzimaradis. So Davy's going to go essentially again. Bartels will come out to the left-hand side.
And the ball is immediately put over his head.
And Santilli will move out to the right.
So just looking at the live ladder now, this win would move Port Melbourne above Pascoe Vale on the table on goal difference. Both would be on 4 points, and that win for the Melbourne Knights currently has them sitting in third position. Equal on points now with Bentley Greens. Bentley Greens on top thanks to their superior goal difference, but very important win for the Knights early in the season.
It's a great opportunity for Avondale to go clear on top if they win tomorrow. Ball forward.
Healthy goal difference of +5 for Avondale early in the season.
Now up the line. Now Connor Gale with the left foot. Back post delivery. Ibrahim. Ball's deflected. Here's a chance on the volley and it's just wide. Vale Sesnik trying to just bend it into the top corner and just put it over the top.
He's certainly been decent value since he's come on, has Ibrahim. Bit of cheekiness there, setting up the first goal as coming on as a substitute.
Now it's Matteo Balan. Bartels. Tellerico. Wanted the big switch, but Santilli wasn't ready for that. Bartels, can he keep it in? He can. Back post delivery. And Sesnik trying to get it clear. And the Sharks eventually do.
Just kind of fell over there, didn't he? There's no sort of pressure whatsoever. That's not going to fool any referee in the world.
So far they've defended their lead quite well, have Port Melbourne. Clipped in. Kearney.
And for any of our viewers interested in the A-League as well, that's just gone full-time. West Sydney Wanderers 4, Brisbane Roar 1. Of course, we don't need any of that. NPL Victoria, that's the proper league you should be listening and watching.
So it's a good win there by the Wanderers. All in the midfield, Bartels. And Sikotsis and
Port Melbourne really pressing in this second half, putting Pascoe's defence under pressure as they're forced to just bomb it long.
It's going to bounce. Kearney cushions the header back to his goalkeeper.
He's done well there. The ominous presence of Davy Van Schip always looming.
The ball's deflected out. It'll be a Pascoe Vale throw. Matsikostas. The gang has come the closest for Pascoe Vale, hitting the crossbar in the first half. And now Hennessy. All numbers in the defensive half for Port Melbourne. Van Schip, Bartels. Van Schip, challenge comes in.
Went down very theatrically, did Davey, but he stayed down.
Heavy challenges on both of the Dutchmen. Bartels picks himself up. Van Schip.
You can just see, yeah, Pascoe, maybe the dearth of ideas. Davey beginning to drop deeper and deeper as the half goes on, looking for the ball.
Conagay was caught late. Referee plays the game on. Ibrahim. You see the Sharks, when Pascoe get their numbers behind the ball, they're just happy just to retain possession. They're the ones with the lead. Now it's Kearney. Digudi can drive it forward. Curling ball looking for Ford. Ford, first touch was heavy. Great save by Feely. Here's another chance, says Nick. Feely comes over and gets the ball.
Good goalkeeping, but once again, just not Ford's night, is it?
Just a better touch, and he's doesn't have to stretch, and Feely doesn't get as close. Great chance for the Sharks to double their lead. Ball out wide. Cross comes in. Bartels. It's headed away by Eager. Shouts for handball.
Referee unmoved.
Eager eventually comes out of the traffic with the ball.
They've got space on the right, which they'll move into.
Kamal Ibrahim.
As we head into the final 15, appears as though Port Melbourne content to just build slowly.
Now it's Kearney. Ko Digudi. He's got cuts inside. Fired it in, looking for Ford, missed him. Pascoe just have to clear. Van Schip looking for a teammate. Crunching challenge. Kearney's down in the middle of the ground. The ball is kicked out, and surely Kamal Ibrahim will kick it out now. So Kearney, there was a heavy challenge with him and Davey Van Schip. He's holding his ankle. But this little stoppage gives both coaches a chance just to have a quick chat to their side. He's going to have to get medical treatment.
It's been a game really where we haven't seen a lot of stoppages, but this will be the first one, adding on to second half injury time.
It's quite a bit of pain, just that crunching challenge, a 50-50 ball between Davey Van Schip and Alan Kearney, and I think Davey's just clipped the top of his foot in that challenge. He's punching the ground too. He's in quite a bit of pain. This looks like a really serious injury for Port Melbourne and the veteran. He's made a great start this season, coming back to the Sharks.
A couple of players on the Sharks bench springing into action as he rises to his feet now on the field, but he's limping quite heavily.
And he's going to go straight up the race, it looks like. If you look at options, Maker is the obvious replacement. Can play centre-back or in midfield. Also, Michael Lee can play as a full-back.
Kearney's done an about-face now. He's coming off to the Port Melbourne bench. And Port Melbourne will be making a substitution. My apologies. With Maker looks to be coming on.
Well, Maker did get his first start for Port Melbourne against Avondale in round 2 when Alan Mulcahy in midfield was unavailable that game. So Maker's going to make his way.
No. Appears perhaps as though...
Well, Davey Van Schip nearly scored from giving the ball back to the keeper that wasn't watching.
Wow.
What a bizarre turn of events that would have been if Davey scored from halfway when he was trying to give the ball back after an injury. Seen it before in England in a game, I think in the Championship, where that happened, and the other side was allowed to score a goal to even it up.
And it looks like Port Melbourne have had a change of heart. Kearney's coming back on. The bib is back on Maker. So Port Melbourne will retain that final substitution if they need.
So Kearney's back on. He's still limping pretty heavily.
We'll see whether Pascoe Vale decide to zero in on that.
As K.O.D. Goody's just launched it into the grandstand. It's ricocheted and could have taken out a few grandmas and nonnas. And well, fortunately for him, it looks like everyone's come out unscathed. But the referee's got to come over and give him a yellow card for that. So Maker still standing on the sidelines. He might come on for somebody else.
Just trying to eavesdrop in. Sounds like he'll be coming on for Konagaya.
Ball headed in. Ooh. Dangerous area. Port Melbourne deal with that really, really well.
Hey, Matthew, open your mouth.
Another corner. What's this, 13, 14? Maybe lucky number 13.
Now viewers at home will have the stats probably popping up right now.
Lucky for them. We, of course, don't have a video stream here, so I'm just guessing.
So Hatzi Cordison, another dangerous delivery. Flicked on by Davey Van Schip. Under the crossbar, Symes will collect. Had a free header there, did Davey Van Schip. Just come off his shoulder a little bit more than anything.
Yeah, just didn't quite have the angle. Oh, as he tries to leap in front of the clearance.
We saw that last week where Hattie Chakaroon was charged down by Cale's backside and Heidelberg got a goal. Almost happened again. Heavy touch on Kamal Ibrahim. Ibrahim goes down. Tallarico's gone over the ball.
Well, we had handbags in the first half. Could we be getting them again in the second?
There's Mulcahy straight in the face of Tallarico.
Again, bloody hell. Settle down, lads. Mulcahy did not like that at all, did he? And Ibrahim is still down.
It has to be a yellow card there, you'd expect for Tallarico. He goes into the book.
Will Mulcahy taste one as well?
Mulcahy was the first person in there. And Kearney. Kearney's got a yellow card. So Kearney's already been booked. Mulcahy.
The Pascoe Vale bench thinks it's a red card, the second yellow.
Is it mistaken identity?
No, he's got the red card out.
So we'll wait to see. As they can make this change now. It's Maker for Yuta Konagaya.
A lot of confusion. What's going on?
So he's just...
So he didn't book Kearney for a second time.
Well, he did book Kearney at the start, but just mistaking identity, then gave it to Mulcahy. So the card wasn't given to Kearney. And now the Sharks continue. Kamal Ibrahim clips it in.
Who needs the VAR for mistaken identity?
Well, Ford clears it. And now the ball's played forward, well cleared away.
Ooh.
Kamal Ibrahim fights for it again. Maker, Tallarico. Hennessy. And they can restart from the back.
As we are about to tick over to the final 5 minutes of the game.
Can Pascoe Vale get a late equaliser in this game?
Can Port Melbourne double their advantage?
There's still plenty to play out in the final moments of this game. Into the channel, Ford, the flag goes up against him. He'd be spewing he didn't see that 30 strides before. late in this game, sprinting in the corner just to turn around and see that the flag went up.
Hey, come on, boys. Come on, send me back in.
Nobody likes going on a sprint when they didn't have to. Pascoe looked to switch the play over to the left. Davey on his own out there on the left wing. Now he's defended.
Now Tallarico. Tsikotsis, we've seen his delivery tonight, near post, eager. Clears it away. His goal separates the two sides.
Tries to flick it on there, but Maker ducks in, but nothing comes from it.
Probably the first time in Michael Eager's career too that he's a joint leading goal scorer. With the Sharks only scoring 2 goals so far this year. Sam Ford in the losing derby last week against South Melbourne. Now Bartels turns. A little heavy that pass. Another wasted opportunity.
As it looks like Pascoe will be making a substitution.
It's Mohamed Rahimi, who did start the first game against Heidelberg.
He'll be replacing Ferrante.
So another attacker comes on for Pascoe Vale. As one of the holding midfielders in Michael Ferrante, the veteran, will come off. So Rahimi's on.
As the Pascoe fans
Cleared into midfield.
doing their best to distract Symes as he takes the goal kick.
Now Davey Van Schip. Pascoe drive it forward. To the mercurial Davey Van Schip.
He's done well.
Trying to waltz through the defence, but there was too many numbers. Now Ibrahim.
Hey, we need to play. We need to play. Come on.
Hoofs it long, what can Ford do? Well, he's tried to body his man out of the way. Unfortunately, momentum took him head over heels.
They've done well to force the ball back. Feel he's going to have to reset again.
Now they've got space here on the left if they can move it quickly.
Matteo Balan. Now Mohamed Rahimi. Hatzicotzis will get it in midfield. Just a ill-directed pass. Eager just clears the ball out wide.
It's just been really the tail of Pascoe's game in this second half. Either they've moved the ball too slowly and Port Melbourne have been able to shut them down, or their just touch has been letting them down in that final third.
Well, we do have the benefit of seeing the stoppage time board right in front of us. It's got 6 minutes on it at the moment.
Maybe a bit of Fergie time for the hosts. See what they can do.
Hatzicotzis again. Needs his best delivery of the night here. Back post, Kamal Ibrahim. Player goes down in the box. Pascoe Vale bench are going mental at the moment.
They're furious. They wanted encroachment on the free kick, and then, well, half the bench wanted encroachment on the free kick, and then the other half started screaming when the man went down, but the referee's unmoved.
I think they have a point with the encroachment because Kamal Ibrahim shuffled forward and then
just launched himself at the ball.
If there was sand in front of him, you'd think he'd be going for Olympic gold medal in the long jump. So,
a fourth official still hearing it from the Pascoe bench.
Ball's cleared out wide. Ibrahim. Ball kept in play. Van Schip. Hatzicotzis will drive it forward. Numbers in the box, but it's straight at Symes. Just as Santilli was ready to launch into the header.
But that's really the type of move that Pascoe Vale haven't been able to produce this second half. They got the ball forward quickly. They had some clever touches. What can they produce here?
Hatzicotzis again looking for Bartels. Kearney was leaning in.
Once again, the Pascoe bench wanted a free kick there for Bartels being knocked from behind. Perhaps if he'd gone down, he would have won the free kick, but he kept his feet.
As the players play on. Sliding challenge. Crunching challenge. Kamal Ibrahim loses it though. What great drama we've got here towards the end of this game. Ball played long.
Just the tempo's gone up a notch in these past few minutes now as we've ticked over into injury time. Fortunately, the fourth official is still dealing with the Pascoe bench, so he can't put the sign up.
He's marshalling, he's walking in front at the moment. He's just realised he's got to put the board up. So the 6 minutes.
Yeah, we got your back, mate.
It's a ball out wide. Van Schip. Eager again, gets it clear. Up the line. He can get to the bouncing ball. Balan. Tallarico gets away from Maker. Once again, Port Melbourne force Pascoe back. In the midfield, Yusuf just couldn't control it off the chest, and now Port Melbourne can get away from danger. As Vale Sesnick gets into the gears and goes out wide.
Now, what will they do? Will he take it to the corner, or will they look to create something?
Gets past for Curtis. And Maker edge of the box. Vale Sesnick drives it again. Still got it, Valley. Valley drives it forward. Vale Sesnick just wide. What a goal that would have been. Challengers flew in on him. Still retained the ball. Got into the box and dragged the shot wide.
Wow. He's done very well there. By all rights, he probably should have turned it over, but did everything right except the finish. Just dragging his left-footed effort across the face. Oh, that was a handball there. As Davey pretty much WWE style throws a man to the field, but
well, Perry Muir has swallowed the whistle, that's for sure, in the end of this game. Anything goes.
Rate it, let them play.
So anyone who's a master of the dark arts, it's your turn to step up now. As the ball's out wide, Ibrahim.
As now we see the Port Melbourne coach Piddock telling his boys, get it into the corner, kill this game off.
Kamal Ibrahim's got it.
Ooh.
Gets past a few challenges. Great pass in the midfield. Again, it's Clark. It's Porter dealing with these final moments extremely well. Sesnick.
As we go halfway through added time.
It's Kearney. They've done a great job to retain the ball of the Sharks, and now the ball's in the channel. Sesnick won't get there. Feely's ball, and now Pascoe Vale.
What will they do with it? Will he boot it long? He will.
Yusuf. Eager. Clears. And Perry Mueller's finally found the whistle.
And he's given the free kick to Pascoe. Interesting.
Adam Piddock is nearly having an aneurysm right next to us on the bench. Santilli. Be disappointed if they score from this. Rahimi. Into the box. Can't find a teammate.
Did it all right in the lead up. Sold his man a dummy, but poor delivery. They can go again.
Back post. It's only Sharks there. Karoma doesn't really deal with it. Kamal Ibrahim does.
Just hoofs it long.
Still feel Pascoe are going to have one more big moment in stoppage time.
2 minutes left. What can they do?
Matteo Balan just clips it forward. Hennessy's forward as well. Looking for Yusuf. Great control. Back hill. And it's just wide. Davey Van Schip. The ball was just behind him. It's taken a deflection though.
And another corner. Well, Pascoe Vale claiming the corner. Port Melbourne saying it must be a goal kick, and it is a goal kick from the looks of it.
So,
really, if there's any striker in NPL Victoria that you would back to take a ball from behind them and put it in the top corner, it would be Davey. Just couldn't do it then. as I imagine we'll just see this ball hoofed long.
Hey, 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 come on, hold!
It's a good opportunity for Symes to take a little bit of time off the clock.
There's less than 60 seconds to go.
Hold this side here! Hold, Melissa! Hey!
Only Pascoe Vale there. Tallarico's header was dangerous.
Just not enough composure there, just hoofing it long. Port Melbourne can clear again.
Maker's done well.
Hold, go central, go to the corner.
Now Sesnick
Keep the ball,
inside the box.
keep the ball!
Got there first, but now it's Feely.
Last throw of the dice, you'd have to think, for Pascoe Vale here.
Hey, hey, stay, move!
Now Tallarico.
Time!
Van Schip's got it.
Time!
Hatzikortis. Eager away.
That wasn't the ball.
Sharks have almost done enough, and now Kamal Ibrahim can drive it.
He can take it to the corner and just kill this if he wants.
See the experience of Kamal Ibrahim. And he's done enough, and Port Melbourne get their first win of the season in round 4. And it was the big centre-back Michael Eager with an excellent finish in this second half that separates the two sides. Pascoe Vale huffed and puffed, but could not blow the ball into the back of the net in the last 15 minutes. But in the end, it's the Sharks who get the win.
Really, Ibrahim, when he came on, kind of turns the game, turned the momentum for his side. A bit of when he first came on to set up the goal by ducking for the short corner. But really, Pascoe Vale, they got the ball forward enough, but just couldn't create any good chances. Either they were too slow and allowed Port Melbourne to get numbers back and clear the ball, or they're just that final touch in the final third let them down. And really, what did we end up having? 13, 14 corners, but just couldn't get any sort of finishing touch on it. So really, they'll be disappointed. Pascoe Vale probably could have done enough to get at least a point from it, but Port Melbourne, 3 points, desperately needed, as we said at the beginning of the game. You can't win the league in the first month of the season, but you can lose it. And now we'll see what Port Melbourne can do and go on with.
Well, for the Sharks, well, for both sides tonight, we saw the attackers really not have the shooting boots on much tonight. And it took the big centre-back, Michael Eager, the championship-winning centre-back, Michael Eager, who finished excellently well from that Kamal Ibrahim cross. Got it at the back post, and it was a great finish. But I hope you've enjoyed tonight. Melbourne Knights 2-0 winners over the Bentley Greens. We turn to action tomorrow as Green Gully take on Dandenong City at 3 p.m. There's also plenty of other fixtures on Saturday. So thank you for joining me, Joey Lynch, and I hope everyone enjoys the rest of the night.
Yes.